Yo, what's good, YouTube? This is Jay from TNJ, and welcome to the New Orleans Kings franchise as we kick off Season 2 in spring training. And I want to use spring training as an evaluation tool. Obviously, that's what it is in real life, obviously, but I have a brand new team. I mean, this is totally different. And I'm looking at this team, I see a bunch of bright young spots, but I also see some question marks like outfield. What are we going to do in center field? What are we going to do as far as DH? I mean, there are still some question marks, and even at second base, is Scooter Gennett going to be our future second baseman, at least for the short term? Maybe not the long term, but at least the next year or so. So in this game, we take on the Nationals, and Alex Wood is on the mound, and here's a ground ball to third. Trey Turner started out with a leadoff triple, and then he gets gunned down at home by David Bodie at third. And now they got a man on first base. They have a lot of speed on this team. Here's a ground ball to short, and we do try to turn two a little too late, and look at that throw. It's off, but Jesus Aguilar, the new acquisition in the offseason, gets the tag on the runner. So up comes Brandon Lowe at the plate, hitting in the four hole, who hits one hard up the middle, and look at this, he's going for second, and we cut the ball off, and he's going to be safe with a double. And now Washington strikes first as Alex Wood's first start isn't looking very good. Not too bad though, but he does get out of that inning with a line out ground ball to Scooter Gennett. So here's one of the guys we have been talking about with center field with question marks, Billy Hamilton. He is leading off this game for us. He hits one to right field, but that is an easy fly ball as it brings up Clint Fraser, who I am actually guessing who's going to lead our team in average this season. He hits one to the left side, and that one does get through the infield, and he is on with a single. And remember, we did ink him to an extension, 5 years worth about $15 million, so that's about $3 million a year. And there is another acquisition. Both of these are acquisitions here. Jesus Aguilar and Marcus Semien, as Semien strikes out, and Aguilar swings at an outside curveball, and he misses that one as Strasburg gets out of that inning. So now we move on to the third inning. Here is a bunt by Robles, and he hits one, and it's going to be down the third baseline. It's going to be a nice infield bunt. Nice lay down on that one, as that brings up Trey Turner, who already has a triple in this game. He hits a bloop single to center field, and Robles is on his horn, and he is going to make it to third base standing up. So now they got guys on the corners here with no outs in the inning. A dribbler back to Wood on the mound, and he will just throw to first base, but the runner does come across the plate. It's 2-0 here for the Nationals. That brings up Juan Soto, who Trey Turner actually swipes third on this pitch, and now they got a man on third base. Let's see if Soto can bring him in, but a grounder right back to the pitcher, and Wood will field it and throw to first base. So let's see if he can get out of this inning with only one run of damages. That brings up Brandon Lowe, who already has an RBI double in this game, and he does get another one to left field, and that is going to be 3-0 here for the Nationals. And I want to see what Alex Wood can do. I don't know who the opening day starter right now is going to be, but Wood already given up 3 runs in the first 3 innings. He does get out of that jam. And that brings us to the bottom of the 5th inning. Here's Yasiel Puig, who was hurt the whole season last year. He hits one hard off of Rick Porcello, who we actually tried to trade for and or sign in the offseason and during the season. He is on the mound for the Nationals as runners on the corners. Here is Billy Hamilton back up at the plate, and he's just going to hit a fly ball to left field. And that is an easy put out by Soto. And now that brings us to the bottom of the 6th inning. Here is our prospect of probably our best prospect we'll maybe ever have. He's ranked number 3 in the pipeline right now. He hits one deep to left center. That's Cory Lee, the catcher. And he is about 77 overall going into this season. He progressed quite nicely. He was hurt the whole season last year in season 1. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. He is our best rated catcher in our organization. So right now he is penciled in as the number 1 catcher. So up comes Jesus Aguilar in the bottom of the 8th after a bloop single by Semien, and he hits one hard up the middle, and it's stopped by Trey Turner, and Jesus Aguilar will beat that one out. So now we got guys on first and second here with Cory Lee, who we were just talking about, at the plate. Let's see what he can do. He gets a hanger in the middle, low part of the zone. He hits a ground ball to second base, and he does have speed, but it is just a fielder's choice, as Jesus Aguilar can't beat that out to second. And up comes another top 10 prospect. This is Jeremy Pena, who hits one hard to the left side, and that is going to be an out. And Jeremy Pena and Cory Lee come into this season as the only top 50 prospects in baseball in our organization, as that brings us to the 9th inning, and the Nationals come away with the victory as Clint Fraser cannot swing and make contact with that outside slider way out of the zone. And we lose this first game in spring training 5-1 off of 10 hits. Yasiel Puig did have 2 hits out of 4 at-bats in that game. So in the first year player draft in season 1, we drafted a lefty, Jimmy Pelko. He is actually really, really impressive. I want to just see what he's got here in spring training. He is on our 40-man roster. I am probably not going to start him out at the MLB level, but I do want to see what he's got. So let's just take a look at him. As you can see, the lineups for both teams are taking on the Cardinals this game. And remember, DJ Peters hit leadoff for probably the last, I'd say, 10 games or so in season 1. So I want to see what he can do as well, as Pelko is only 18. Could he be the 18-year-old phenom who makes it up to the majors this season? We'll have to see. So let's see what he does in this first game of action. His first batter he faces is going to hit one to left field, and that is a leadoff single here for the Cardinals. And I think that the Cardinals right now are in a rebuilding phase here in this franchise, as Wilmer Defoe hits one to first base, and that's going to be an easy ground ball for a double play. So the rookie Jimmy Pelko, or I don't know if he's going to be a rookie this year, but he does get the double play, as that brings up Paul Goldschmidt in the 3rd spot. He hits one hard up the middle, and DJ Peters comes in and fields it. And that is 2 singles given up by Pelko. And here comes Miguel Sano to the plate, who they acquired in the offseason via trade. He was on the trading block in the offseason, and we do get him to swing and miss, but a drop 3rd strike. He beats that one out to first base. And that brings up Dylan Carlson here in the 5-hole, who does hit a ground ball. And that is going to be an easy put out there for Scooter Gennett. And one thing I see about Pelko early, at least he gets a lot of batters to hit a lot of ground balls. But you can see some are making solid contact, like this one up the middle in the top of the 3rd inning. And that's a base hit here, as we're still in a 0-0 game. Here comes Wilmer Defoe to the plate, and he's going to watch one on the inside part. And he watches that one, and now guys on 1st and 2nd, Paul Goldschmidt to the plate, and he hits one to the right side of the infield. That one will score the first run of the game, and the St. Louis Cardinals are up 1-0, but still no outs in this inning. With guys on 1st and 2nd, here's Sano back at the plate, 0 for 1, but Pelko makes a mistake, and welcome to the MLB. That one is gone, and that is devastating right there. I was hoping to get through about 4 solid innings with Pelko. He gives up a 3-run shot to Miguel Sano, one of the best home run hitters in our game today. And he is still only 26. Man, that guy, man, if he can just hit for average, he is going to be pretty scary to face. As now we move on to the bottom of the 8th inning now. DJ Peters at the plate. We wanted to see what he can do, and he does walk. And now bases loaded for Clint Frazier, who I said I predicted to lead our team in average. He hits one to right field, and it's going to drop in. And with bases loaded, we aren't moving all the runners on that one, and only 1 run scores. So now 5-1 here with 1 out in the 8th inning, as that brings up Marcus Semien, our big signing in the offseason. He swings and misses at a bad pitch on that one. And that brings up 2 outs here, bases loaded. And Tommy Knight, one of our bright young first base prospects. He's only 22 years old, hitting .250 in the spring so far through 9 games, and he hits one up the middle. That's a hard shot. He's got power, and he does bring in 2, and the runner from first advances to 3rd. And there we go. On the board, 3-5. Let's see if we can keep this inning going, as that brings up Lorenzo Quintana, who is a veteran catcher. He's 31 years old. He was hurt pretty much the whole year last year, but he will have a chance to be the backup catcher this year, as now that loads up the bases. He walks. Jeremy Pena, our top shortstop prospect in the organization, hits one to the other shortstop, and it's going to be an out, as that brings us to the bottom of the 9th inning. Here is Yasiel Puig to the plate, 1 for 3 in this game. He hits another ground ball to shortstop, and that is going to be an out. Long throw to first, but it's going to be the end of this game. 6-3 for the Cardinals as they get the victory. Jimmy Pelko, he looked all right in spots, but obviously not ready for the show yet. and I have a lot of young pitching talent in our organization I am excited about. Pelko is one of them, and we finally have a lefty to develop. As now we move on to maybe the other guy that could be our ace this year, who is going to get the opening day start, who knows? Pablo Lopez. Now, he is a great young pitcher, 25 years old, I believe now, 15 strikeouts and 3 walks here in the spring as we are facing the Atlanta Braves. And one other guy I want to take a look at, Randy Arozarena. Our leadoff spot is up for grabs. I want to see what Arozarena can do. So here's the first pitch of the game, and he hits one to left field, and that's a leadoff single. If we can get more leadoff singles, he's got 83 speed. I don't think he can steal as well as Billy Hamilton can, but if he can show some speed on the base pass and just get on base, that's definitely an asset. So here we are trying to steal one here, and look at this. We get caught in a rundown, and we eventually get run down trying to swipe second. And that brings up Marcus Semien here with 2 outs, who hits one hard up the middle, and that's what I'm looking for him to do. Like I said, if we can get a man on first base, Semien and Aguilar in the 3-4 spot are going to produce a lot, I think, in my opinion. We'll have to see, though, but we do have a pretty good lineup this year. I think our lineup is much improved as Aguilar does look at that third strike that time, and that's going to bring up Pablo Lopez on the mound. I just want to see what he can do in a little bit of limited action. I'm not going to overpitch him, obviously, and he's facing up-and-coming lineup of the Atlanta Braves. So up comes Ronald Ikuyo, who's hitting in the 3-hole, and that's going to be a ground ball as we try to turn 2, and it's going to be a fielder's choice that time, but 2 outs here in the inning with guys on first and second. We do get the ground ball that time. Camargo at the plate, who you guys thought I should go after. I didn't think it would be realistic for us to go after Camargo. I don't think he is on the block at all. I don't know if the Braves would trade him at this point. But now we move into the 7th. Now we're down by 6. And you can see this spring training on offense isn't really going as planned, but we'll see how it goes heading into the season. Up comes Cory Lee. Let's see one of his at-bats. He watches one on the inside part of the plate. So guy on first base here in the 7th inning, down by 6 runs. David Bodie, who is going to be looking to kind of bounce back from last year. He hits one deep to center field, and it's going to get over Acuna's head in center, and that is going to be a RBI double that time for Bodie, as Cory Lee with that speed. I love that he has speed. We've been fortunate enough to have Garrett Stubbs and now Cory Lee, 2 catchers with good speed, as here's a pass ball this time with Scooter Gennett at the plate. And now we got a man on third. Let's see if Gennett can bring him home, but he watches the low slider in the zone. And that's 2 outs here in the inning with Yasiel Puig to the plate. And let's see if he can bring one in, and he hits a lazy pop fly to right field. And that is going to be an out. And as we move on to the top of the 9th, let's see what Jesus Aguilar can start here as he hits one to the right side, and that's going to be a base hit. You know, I like Aguilar a lot. He's got an easy stance to hit from, and his swing is smooth. He hits the ball pretty much all parts of the field, which is what I like. Here's Cory Lee at the plate, who we have been talking about in this episode. He gets a double down the right field line. Nice to see him get a nice double. And that's going to bring up David Bodie hitting in the 6th hole, and he cannot swing and make contact with that slider up in the zone. And that will bring up Scooter Gennett. With 2 outs, he walks. So bases loaded here, and they're going to bring in some relief out of the bullpen. Chris Martin, and let's see what Puig can do. He ended the last game. Let's see what he can do here. And he watches the low cut fastball. So now a runner does come across the score. And the next batter is going to be our pitcher, Luke O'Connor. So we will pinch hit Justin Thompson here, who I talked about last season. He was our minor leaguer of the year, and he hit over 300 in AA, hit 280 at AAA. Let's see what he can do here in the spring. He's hitting 333, and there he watches one up in the zone, and 2 runs walked in as that brings up Arozarena in the leadoff spot. He's 2 for 4 in this game, but he swings and misses at a low sinker. And the Atlanta Braves get the victory in this one. But I am encouraged by some of our young players here in the spring. We did not have maybe the offensive output, but I'm still encouraged by the talent we have in this roster. I think we're going to be pretty good this year. I'm not expecting us to be a World Series caliber team, obviously, but to compete this year. That is the goal. So just looking at what we did in spring, Clint Frazier hit 291. He is very, very impressive. I think he's going to hit around 300 this season. I'm hoping that that is the case. He will hit in the 2-hole. Jesus Aguilar, 341 and 5 home runs. He had an amazing spring. I expect him to continue that fire into the regular season. Marcus Semien hit 260. He hit 285 in back-to-back seasons. David Bodie, 171 though. We definitely need to get that up. He's going to be in the middle of our lineup. Don't know where yet. But Billy Hamilton, he struggled. And that does give me a reason to pause. And honestly, I'm a little concerned here because I was expecting him to compete for the center field job. It doesn't seem like he's winning it. As Cory Lee, though, hit 290 in the spring. That was exactly what I was looking for from him. It looks like he is healthy and ready to go here in season 2. Melky Cabrera hit below 200. That is very, very surprising. And honestly, he could start the year in the minors, to be honest, because we have some options on some players that we have to honor because of the contracts and all and how that works. And Arozarena hit over 300. That is encouraging. It looks like he has won that center field job to start the season. Tapia hit 250. He's a depth guy as well. Tim Beckham hit 346 and 26 at-bats. Not bad for him. Then Justin Thompson hit 320 in the spring. I mean, this is pretty good. I mean, I am excited for this kid. He is going to play in the minors to start out. But, I mean, watch out. If he starts out hot, he could be on a fast track to the MLB. Now, DJ Peters hit below 100, but he has to start at the major league level because look at his minor league options. He is all out of them. So I have no choice because I'm not going to put him on waivers. He will definitely be claimed. Hoyun Park didn't do too well. Jeremy Pena didn't do too well. Zach Kozar didn't do too well. All of our young prospects, pretty much besides Thompson, didn't do that well, except for Tommy Knight, but only had 8 at-bats. He hit 375. Luke Crampton is out of options as well, so he might actually be a guy that we have to move up, along with Jack Rochford, who, man, we are out of options with these guys. That's one thing that I wish that MLB The Show had. When you start a franchise, minor league players should have their options reset, because now look at, I'm going to have to use a couple of MLB bench spots for these guys because I don't want to put them on waivers. So that sucks because now I'm going to lose out on some maybe veteran depth that I would use and have use for. Like Tapia, for example, is a guy that I would probably have at the MLB level, but now I had to put him in the minors more than likely to save some of these young guys in our organization. So honestly, our pitching did really well except for Jace Vines. I mean, he had a 239 whip. Obviously, he had a rough start to his MLB career last season. He's not going to be at the MLB roster to start the season. He's still 26. He's got time to develop. I'm going to put him at AAA. He's a high 70 B potential guy, so I have high hopes for him. I think he's going to right the ship. I'm not really worried about him. Now, Brian Abreu, 165 whip. Hopefully he does better in the regular season. He's going to be at the MLB level again. Alexander Crowe struggled in spring. Not surprising here. He's still developing. Jose Urquidy, though, 150 whip. I mean, he's got to get better. Obviously, he's going to be in the starting rotation, probably in the 3 or 4 spot, probably the 4. So he's going to have to improve. Now, Luke O'Connor, this guy is surprising. Now, he is doing very, very well. He actually progressed a little bit in the spring here as he had 12 innings of work, less than 1 whip. I mean, this is pretty good for a 67 overall guy. He's going to look good. I mean, I could start him at the MLB level and have him in a limited role, maybe not get him too many innings at a time. But then looking at the rest of our guys, Nate Jones, great job in the spring. Joe Smith, great in the spring as well. I mean, these guys are doing really, really well for us. So next episode, we will start the season 2 season here in the Lions. I keep saying Lion Kings. It's officially Kings now. The New Orleans Kings franchise here in season 2. We will go up against the new acquisition for the Rangers, Corey Kluber. They have a pretty good starting rotation. Remember, they made it to the World Series last season, so they have gotten even better. So hit subscribe, hit that like button. Next episode will be season 2, so stay tuned. Let's get it. Let's go.
Yeah, they filling out these job applications. Life got hard after high school graduation. I went to college and your boy got financial aid. They gave me money, then I went and bought a pair of J's. And I bought a pair of shades. And I bought a new computer. Had $400 left, spent the rest on